Hi, it's Nicole and Love Infinity, and we're back with another positive impact moment here for everyone. We hope you're having a positive day. Are you having a positive day, love?
I'm having an amazing day, and Thursdays are one of my new favorite days every Thursday because I have all these amazing podcasts and my favorite human beings in the world, one after another.
Isn't that awesome?
Today's rips. I like ripping it. Have been really, really, really great. You know, the divinity comes through, which we forgot to say our prayer beforehand. That said, I said it. I invoked a bunch this morning for all of the podcasts.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's 111 right now.
Yay!
Everybody listening, make a wish. It will come true.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, we could say a little prayer in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for blessing us with your ability to inspire us, who's given us gifts beyond measure, and our talents and our words, we hope are reaching the masses so that they have truly positive days and nights and minutes in between. Thank you so much for blessing us with these opportunities, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all the gods and goddesses and all the angels and archangels. Thank you for all my spiritual guides. So I would like to share something really quick. I just got on my doorstep my sheepskin.
Aww.
Free gift with purchase. And a book that I'm required to read for this 6 months course that I'm starting.
That's okay. The Awaken. Oh, nice. Awesome. Everlasting Love.
It's by
Sandy, right? Is it?
No, London Angels.
Oh, London Angels. I couldn't see that. I got
Papa.
bright lights in my eyes. I can't.
You have a fan. Papa's back on. Hi, Papa.
Hi,
Papa. I love that. I used to call my grandfather Papa. And I call my Spanish friends Papi. Papi.
Hey, Papi.
Oh, ¿Qué pasa, Papi?
So today, Love and I thought we might talk a little bit about intuition or psychic ability and how you can develop that. Did you grow up having gut instincts or just knowing things about people?
Hello, beautifuls.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you for the compliment. We are mirrors of you.
Yes. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about that. I mean, I'm sure, Love, you have experienced some psychic ability in your past.
You know, I have, and it's getting better and better because I reactivated my DNA and I've met a lot of my angels and my guardian angel, and you know, they're always there. And now I invoke before I sleep and I ask for it. And now I always, even though, in the past I have doubted my gut feeling, it's always right. Anything in your body that reacts is always right on. People, listen to your body, listen to your feelings, listen to your emotions and your feelings, because they are trying to say something to you. And if you're not listening, then you have some injury in a part of your body that is another message to you.
Yes.
So psychic abilities, I also, I told you I invoke, and I am grateful for my divine guidance. And I lost my train of thought.
Okay. So I'll jump in. When I grew up, it was very obvious. I was talking to other people, and my parents always called it my imaginary friends. And they actually have me on video, like having this detailed conversation about how to handle plants and the sunlight and when to water and when not to water. And I realized much, much, much later that I was actually talking to the farm owners of the property my house was built on. There was a big farmhouse beyond that, behind our house, and I think they lived there. And so over the years, I kind of always thought that everyone could do this. And I was like, oh, you don't talk to people not embodied, you know? And even throughout high school, junior high and high school, I was able to identify people who were bullying me. You know, someone put a mouse in my locker once, and I said, oh, it was this person, and everyone's jaw dropped, and he screamed, who told her? And it was just because I was using my psychic abilities. I knew, I could see it in my mind how it happened, when he did it, why he did it. And after that, though, I kind of got a really strong message that that was not normal, that people don't talk about those things, and it was not cool, like that I knew, you know, that this cool kid had done this to me. So,
I'm sorry that happened.
yeah. Oh, so many things like that happened. And it was weird because it was right around the time of that movie. What was that called? Where the blood comes out of the walls in her. Carrie. It was right around the time of that movie, right? So,
please.
You know, I had all these thoughts, and I'm like, wow, I don't even want to think like that. I don't. But then, you know, as I got older, I started to realize, like, I just didn't need to go there with certain people. I didn't offer my insights. I didn't tell anyone what I was seeing because I just thought that they would think I was weird, like I did in junior high school or middle school. So it was much later when I really wanted to become a healer that I was attuned in Reiki, and you've had this experience too. And during that time, I was studying human anatomy as a college student, and I was giving Reiki, and then boom, like I was looking at internal organs and I was seeing things, and I thought, okay. So instead of like being able to discern timelines for people, or say you're going to be going on a detour when you go to visit this person or that person, I was actually looking into the body and being like, wow, why is it that color? You know, like just really kind of blown away by what I was looking at inside the body. So that led me on a very long search, a journey, because I didn't want to just use psychic ability alone. I think a lot of people who maybe first start out looking to develop their psychic intuition or their clairsentience or clairaudience or clairvoyance, they, you know, they're searching for something else. And I didn't want to abuse the privilege. You know what I'm saying? Can you abuse it?
I don't think you can abuse it.
There's no such
thing of abusing it, because they give you this gift. Oh, you mean use it for something wrong or bad?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
When you use that ability, that talent to manipulate someone else, you know, that sort of thing. Or to, I was psychically attacked for like 6 years, and it was every night I was getting psychically attacked. And I knew who it was and I couldn't stop it. But I've gotten more control.
You can shield it. You can shield that.
Well, it's very interesting. It's all about where you're putting your attention, you know. So if you have a very strong intention to connect with the Holy Spirit, or if you really have a strong intention to connect with Archangel Michael, that will dominate any psychic transmission that's negative. And also the violet flame of Saint Germain, right? But over the years, I had many opportunities to take different classes. So like I was just saying to Love before the show, this was my first crystal ball that I used to practice scrying with in the beginning.
It's beautiful. I can see your reflection in there too.
Isn't it amazing? I always keep this around because it was such a wonderful opening time for me. And I really enjoyed learning more about scrying and, you know, allowing kind of like my ego to step back and allowing the information to come in. And that was very exciting. And then, you know, holding a very clear conscious space. I have generators all over the house.
I love those.
And then I used this I used to do a lot of expos, and I would wear this necklace because it would kind of help me center and balance. But this is also a scrying crystal. I don't know if you could see, like one side has a shade in it, a shadow in it. And then that also would spontaneously generate images in my mind about this person or that person. And it was a very good opening time. But I think, you know, I talk to a lot of people now. I used to belong to a group of people called Psy Research, and it was in Mahopac, New York. And we used to once a week or once a month, I forget, But we used to study things like alchemy, psychic ability. We studied healing arts. We studied iridology, cranial sacral therapy, the meridians of the body, and Chinese medicine. We studied everything. And it's unfortunate now that there's not a whole lot of places that offer those types of education, because I think that did add to my psychic ability. It allowed me to hone in on things that, you know, I will say, like, when you study, you know, being psychic or doing psychic work, you're given different opportunities to grow, I want to say, a familiarity. And I think one of the things that
muscle, make it stronger.
Yes, yes. And I don't know about you, Love, but especially in your work. But what I found to be truly helpful was working in the various industries, in the fitness industry and television industry for as long as I had. I was actually able to hone in on different personalities very quickly. You know, like
I don't have that gift as well, because I tend to see the best in everyone. That said, there's my favorite little bird, the hummingbird, just flew by, a little blue one.
Yay.
That said, I'm getting better at knowing what energies I want to be around and not. I mean, I still see the best in everyone.
Yes.
I still see their beauty and their true essence.
You know, and it's funny you said that, because I was just listening this morning. Have you ever heard of Christopher Duncan?
No. Tell me more. I love him.
I love him because he is also doing the super conscious work that I started doing with my clients. And he was just saying, you know, I was always an optimist. I was always the first one to say, this is absolutely going to work. This is going to be phenomenal. And then, you know, realizing like 8 months into it, I should have changed tack a long time ago, and know that wasn't right for me. So I think, you know, a lot of what I try to teach people is how to access their own intuition, their own psychic ability, because go ahead.
I remembered where I lost my train of thought earlier. I don't want to interrupt you though. You were on a rip.
No, it's good. It's good.
Well, one of the things that helps is I invoke my higher self before I do anything, like just in general, in the mornings and when I know I'm about to do something or a project or anything. Or if a question or I want to remember something, I choose to remember, I invoke my higher self. And when you invoke your higher self, you just humbly and gratefully invoke, however you want to word it. That really helps. That's a good tip for people.
Well, I'll say there's two states that humans historically perceive things, right? One is through their filter, which, like you're doing, is a very positive thing. That's what we need, is more positivity. And then there's the other state, which is through an unbiased, objective filter that recognizes things for what they are. And that's a different state.
Yeah.
When you invoke a positive energy into something, you're actually trying to create. You're putting your energy into something and trying to create something that's going to be positive, uplifting, whatever your intention is. However, when you want to give information or you need information for yourself, let's just say, let's say this hypothetically, you know, you came up for a job interview and they loved you in person, but you really would like to know whether or not you got this job. It's only been 2 days after the interview. You're just desperate to know what's going on. Then in that scenario, you do want to protect yourself with prayer, but you don't want to invoke anything. You just want to observe. And I think that's the hardest part for people, is just being a non-objective or a non-biased observer. It's very, very hard. And the more that you give readings, the more that you talk to people about, you know, what's going on for them in their lives, the easier it is to kind of like push your ego behind you, no matter how positive you may be. It's just easier to push your ego behind you so that you can then be that channel, that vocal point for people to understand what their minds are doing in their bodies, or what their potential is for that job or that event, or if they're going to travel, marry a guy, whatever it is. It gives you the opportunity to kind of step outside of yourself. And in that regard, then you're free. You know, you're free to observe. And then you can say, oh, you know, they haven't made a decision yet, so I am going to invoke archangels Gabrielle and Ariel and Sandalphon, and I'm going to push all this positive energy into it and see if I can support my case, my cause, my desire to have this job even more than normal. So there are two states, and one is very useful in getting information. The other is very useful in manifesting what you want. And I think it's important too to say, you know, this is positive, this is going to be awesome for me, or to say, you know what, I loved meeting the people, but I honestly don't know if I can handle the commute. The money's not right, you know, or whatever it is. To be honest with yourself, I think is an even greater gift, you know.
Yes. Yes. I recently had that situation come up. Remember, we talked about it. Which one? The nail salon place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Perfect example.
I knew it was hard too, because I desired that. I saw the great opportunity in it, but then I knew, no, it would kill my soul. My soul. No.
And it's great. Like I said, you know, to get that attention and that confirmation that you're worthy of a position like that. But it's also, you know, a greater gift, I think, that God has placed within all of us, is this intuitive discernment, you know, like, yeah, that's not right for me. You know?
By the way, I see a couple energies with us, a couple purple and red lights with us.
You mean like my hand?
Oh my God, it looks better. Let me see.
It does look better. It does.
It still looks rough, but it looks better than it did.
It's so much better than it was.
I know. It's not Halloween time.
Not to disgust everyone at home. Yeah, just
it's the perfect Halloween.
I went to see my client. Yeah, I know. I went to see one of my clients. Her husband is a doctor, and he saw the color of my hand.
You are part monkey.
Yeah, exactly. He goes, is that the shade of the cream you've been putting on? Or is that, oh no, that's my skin tone right there.
That is so great.
Nothing to this.
Oh, God bless him. He's so sweet. That's so funny.
You know, like, I did not create that. That's just the way it came out. But
that is hilarious.
Yeah. But anyway, so we do have the ability to be discerning and to support that. We want to be clear in our psychic ability. We want to be clear about our intuition. And then we also want to, like you said, you know, back it up with that positive intention. If we see that things aren't going the way we want, I'll do that often.
Your boundaries. It's your minor and major life boundaries, which I tend to ignore with my free will sometimes, or let them be crossed. And then I'm like, beating myself up later. Why?
Yes. And I'll do that
on the ground.
I'll do that. I had a woman I used to work with years ago approach me in my studio here in Ridgefield and say she wanted to learn everything I knew about mind-body connection, and she wanted to be my student. And I said, okay, well, how many years are you going to work for me after that? And she said, what? And in that moment, I was like, this is proprietary information. You know, I'm not going to just train you in my method and then see you take it somewhere else. And I said I would teach her a little bit, but the closer we got to the date, the more sinking feeling I got about it. You know, like, this was not right. I didn't feel comfortable with it. I'm sure she's a very good person, whatever. But
with that said, don't you want, would you create your proteges?
Well, I have,
Do you desire to have proteges out there spreading your work?
yeah, I have several people who've asked me to train them after I taught the Be a Body Psychic in a group. I have like 3 people who would like me to train them in what I do.
I like the idea of them working though with you for years before they're out on their own. That like really engraves it in them.
Well, it's that, and it's also, you have to kind of expose yourself. Like I said before, I had exposure to all these different personalities. You have to expose yourself to a number of different scenarios so that
Right.
you can be very, very, very good.
Totally understand.
And you're not just like, oh geez, I don't know what to do with this one, But the biggest stumbling block for a lot of
you're following your intuition and you're discerning. You were being discerning and following your intuition.
But the biggest stumbling block for people who want to learn from me is that they underestimate how many hours or how much time it takes to get certified as a personal trainer first, because that's a huge commitment. That's NASM is not the test itself was not difficult. The extraordinary amount of time you have to put into learn about human anatomy, functioning, their OPS system. They have a very specific way of training to progress people, and that would be true of ACE or WIX or whatever the other.
Yoga training, anatomy, we had.
And that 500-hour course. That's the biggest issue, is that people don't want to spend that much time on that. They want to learn how to psychically read bodies. And I said, well, what's your intention then? What's your intention by learning how to psychically read human bodies? Is it to make a business out of, to diagnose people? Because that's almost irresponsible. You do not have a medical background. I don't have a medical background to diagnose someone. You have to be able to speak to it in an intelligent manner. So all of these things kind of require some scientific background based on, the body. And so that's the biggest stumbling block. That's why I haven't started a school yet. I'm looking for personal trainers who are intuitive in nature. I can give anyone a set of skills to be psychic. Whether or not they know how to apply them is a different, I was fortunate. I became a metabolic technician, a behavior specialist. I'm in corrective exercise research now. There's a lot of history in this. There were 20 years of group fitness certifications I had prior to personal training. So, that's something that I'm looking into, but I don't want to encourage just yet, just because I haven't seen that combination. Literally, like, I'm the only one I know who does what I do. So
great. I can't wait I look forward to our workshop in January or February with Stephen and you.
Well, and I'm thinking maybe that's the time that I do teach a Be a Body Psychic workshop so that people can learn. I think that would be very exciting for people. And then they can use that for themselves. And so many people have told me that they've used it for themselves and discern, like, oh, I didn't realize, I had hypothyroidism, or I actually have polyps, and I didn't see that until I did the body.
Do I want to know?
Oh, it's those of you who are out there, you can let Love know.
Yeah, never. I don't want to go into a subject about that.
Polyps just form.
We don't need to know. It's okay. I'm serious.
They can form anywhere in the colon and your throat. They can form anywhere, but basically, it's it's an inflammation of tissue within the body that can block, functions. We'll say that. I think we just lost like 3 viewers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
No, it's okay. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, how did you grow and develop your psychic ability, Love?
Well, again, it was more recent in the last few months that I've really been more in touch and meeting my angel and doing plant medicine, plant magic, plant tech helped. I know that's not your thing.
No, but you know what? That's one of the people. It's so funny you said that. That's one of the people I was considering training, doing what I do. And we keep in touch, and she's actually going to join me in my Mind Body for Weight Loss study that I'm doing. I'm probably going to start it Monday. I have a group of people together now. We're going to do a little bit of a Zoom call tonight about it. But she is an awesome plant specialist, like unbelievable. If you want, more of that. So I can get that.
So that, I mean, you can do it through meditation and other ways. I choose the heart plant, the heart medicine, it's a heart plants. And and ever since then, the floodgates have opened, and I feel a lot more in tune with my abilities and my discerning and reading people's energies. So
good.
It's still a work in progress,
Well, yeah. You're going to hit different levels at different times. Like I realized I started like just reading about a thing, then I could find it. Like I said, I was giving Reiki sessions to my weight loss clients, and I kept seeing these images of brain chemistry, like electronic impulses going down into the heart or the pancreas or the stomach. And I'm like, what the heck is that? But then when I was actually being trained to be a metabolic technician, I said, that's what it is. Like that's they're drawing it on the board. I'm like, that's what I saw in that reading. So I think, and also just like a little bit of advice for like what you were talking about before, like, should I do this or should I do that? I also have my clients and my friends, I'll ask them to write out their intention. Like, let's say you want to move somewhere, like, I want to move to Texas, or should I move to Maryland? Whatever it is. And you put it in each hand. And then you breathe slowly and deeply. And you
muscle testing. Yeah, the muscle.
Well, not even muscle testing. You invoke the light to come in and balance you. And then you feel where there's more energy, where there's more heat, where there's more vibration in which hand. And now, like, I've gotten to a point where all I have to do is imagine the scenario.
Yeah.
Tell if it has light in it. That's enough. If it doesn't have light in it,
because I forgot that technique. And here's another technique.
And pendulums, absolutely. I have a gorgeous pendulum too. I had several, but they break. You use them. And
I don't use mine very often.
Well, I was using them a lot for Reiki healing sessions, and then based on the configuration of circles over the chakras, I would know like how to push the energy. But like I said, after a while, your clairsentience, your ability to feel someone's energy becomes so in tune or attuned that you don't even need pendulums anymore. You can just use your own body.
With pranic healing, we are taught to feel the energy where it's depleted or
expanded, or
what's the proper term we use there? Depleted or
energized, or
no, it's the opposite of depleted. Come on.
It'll come to you.
3:00 in the morning and I'll be texting you.
Right. That's the other thing I wanted to talk to everyone about today too, is if you're feeling an energy depletion, I really believe that the trauma that's happened in California, the fires and everything, is kind of really weighing heavy on the entire United States. I really do feel, this sense of despondency and lack of enjoyment and fear, significant fear going on. And I hope no one is caught up in that.
That thing I sent you today from my shaman brother, it's all about the collective energy right now.
Yeah.
Because it's more than the fires. It's more than COVID. It's about the Black Lives Matter. It's so much.
It's so, it really, and I go back to this, and I have a wonderful friend on Instagram who keeps posting really positive things as well. You would love her too. She's also a healer, but and I've said this in the past, and she has reiterated it, that it is so important that we all maintain that high level of vibration. Just getting up and walking out the door this morning, it felt heavy and thick. And I kept seeing, I don't know if school was actually out this.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. People are going here. There's been, they started school. We talked about that last podcast. Well, there's been an outbreak in the schools with the kids, so they're out for 2 weeks. So that anxiety of people starting school again, and that is another collective energy out there.
This is what I was kind of concerned about sending my own son to school. And I know there's a lot of kids back in college right now, but and this is the problem, they're little kids. They don't know that. And someone posted on Facebook, look, Mom, it's Johnny's mask. I'm wearing that today. They're kind of missing.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of that, is that all you need is one person, to make a mistake. And
yeah,
I'm so sorry. That's too bad. I was really hoping, like, Florida's been open for what, like a month, you said?
Yeah, something like that. I think, yeah. We start earlier than everybody and we end earlier, which to me makes sense. What doesn't make sense is how early in the morning they start, especially in high school, because they've done all the studies that they're still developing. And then
and it's funny, toddlers, they get up first. They're like at 6 o'clock in the morning. Send them to school at 6 o'clock in the morning. Send the high schoolers.
Yeah, they go later, which is weird because that's when they need rest and naps. It doesn't make sense. The one thing that does make sense, though, that they start earlier here and end earlier because they wanted to end semesters before the holiday break, so they didn't forget the information, because now they do the exams before the vacations, because they realize nobody studies during vacation.
Yeah,
up to date and uses their brain muscle.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember
Florida. So our smartness has gone up. We get the best. We have the best athletes and the best that. The brains come from the Midwest. I probably delete that. That was generalizing.
Yeah, I was like, huh? Where are we going with this? Okay, Love's on another tangent. Let's go.
No. Delete.
So, do you have any other advice to give everyone about psychic ability?
To really stay in touch with the now and all of your senses. Be in touch with your body and what you smell, what you taste, what you hear, what you see, what you feel. A long time ago, I read that if you smell an odor from someone, that it's not a good sign to get away from that person.
Oh, you want to hear something interesting? When I was, when I had given, I keep looking at my weird hand. When I had given birth to my first son, I brought him home that night, and for the next week, all I could smell were roses, just roses all night long. And I feel like it was a combination of like support from the other side, saying that this was a good time, because we waited 7 years before we had a family. We were married, we were into our careers, and then we had our son. But Mike's, my husband's great aunt, is named Aunt Rose. So I have a feeling that she was kind of like,
Oh, I love roses. I love the smell. I got this great rose, when I was in Egypt. They're the alchemists of smells and flowers and perfumes. All the scents for the whole world come from Egypt. I don't know if you knew that. And I got the best rose oil. Oh, I love it.
See, and I find rose oil to be difficult to get where it smells authentic. You know how it smells plastic in some places? Like
this is a good one. This is really good. You can put it on your skin. Nice. I put it in water and spray rose water on me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. I mix it with orange blossom.
Nice. Ooh, that's nice.
Two of my favorite smells: orange or citrus, anything, and coconut. I love coconut.
Coconut and ylang. That's a nice one too.
Sandalwood.
I love sandalwood, and I just heard about the wood oud. Have you heard about this?
No.
I guess it's another ancient wood that's used in fragrances, but on its own, my God, I want to dive in and like slather my entire body.
Too. Some of that.
You know, my sister got a Glade air freshener thing from the store. I have not been able to find it by us, but oh my God, I was like, that's got to be.
You go to Glade's website and order it direct.
I should.
Amazon has everything. Walmart has it. If Walmart doesn't have it, you don't need it.
Yeah.
One of my friends says that.
Oh my God, I love that. If Walmart doesn't have it,
true. Walmart is like, well, we don't want to endorse big crazy shopping right now, but
no. But getting back to your point about like making sure you continually check in with your body and feel things, I think it's also really, really important to have a practice to do that. So if you haven't developed you could say, oh, but I feel things, and people do this a lot. You know what I noticed? They don't even acknowledge in themselves. I'll be working with someone on the super conscious level, and I'll be saying, okay, so in your history, in your questionnaires, you mentioned abdominal pain. And she's like, no, I didn't say. And I'm like, you just said that. So be connected, maintain that connection, even though it might be painful. It's really trying to tell you something. It's trying to open up a level of conscious awareness that you need to address. And so anyway, that was kind of like, and I think these people are the kind of people too that need to control their environment. Remember when I was saying it's important to step back, to take your ego out of it and just allow the images to, talk to you naturally.
The observer.
Yeah, to be an observer.
Bird from the sky watching down. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to allow the scene to unfold, without manipulation, without anticipation. When I do the body scan in my workshops, I always say this: do not assume a color is going to be somewhere. Just let it talk to you.
Yeah, and another thing, self-reflection every night. That's another good thing, because you can relive your day and what you would change about it and do differently. And then when you do that and you visualize yourself doing that, the next time that situation or that thing comes up, you'll react the way you want. You'll be the way that you envisioned it.
And that is so true. That takes discipline, though. A lot of people can't handle that. But I do see that in the behavior specialist mode, when I have people review their day and what they ate and how they responded to what they ate, what precipitated them eating what they did, it's very hard for them to be objective, and just say, oh, I did this. And
instead of they beat themselves up. Well, my body right now is telling me that I have to go to the restroom and I get the wiggle dance going.
So you go wiggle to the restroom. I will sign off with everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. I love you.
Next time, you.
I'm on with Justin next at 2:00.
Yay! And I'll talk to you later. Okay. Oh, and also wait, if you want to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, I'm at Nicole's MBM, and Love Infinity is at Positive Impact Global everywhere.
Life. Positive Impact.
Life. Positive Impact Life. I'll say it right one day. Bye. Bye, Papa.